So now that you know your child cuts, now what? You've had that conversation, you're loving them where they are at, but now their cuts and their scars are going to become more visible because they're going to be less self-conscious and hiding less and feeling more open about things. So now what do you do? I think the first thing that's important to do is to have a plan. For me, the plan was planning for the very worst. What happens if she cuts so deep she bleeds out? We came close one day. She had cut pretty deep. She wasn't hitting an artery, so she wasn't bleeding out, but we did have to take her to urgent care. She did have to get stitches and some liquid skin applied. That was really hard. While the nurses and the doctors were very kind, they also had to address what was going on. She and I both cried on the way home. I think that's important. It's important to be able to cry together, to feel that pain together, because when you can feel that pain together, you can start to work through it. But what happens as the scars are more visible, as the cuts are more visible, as more people realize what they're doing? That's the hard part. A lot of adults don't know what to say, don't know what to do, or they look at your child and say, I don't want my child around that one. She might encourage them to cut. They might have cutting parties. And then on the other side, adults had a hard time being around us because we were bad parents. How could you not know this was happening to your child? How could you let this happen? You must have done something wrong. And that's just not true. We were very vigilant parents. We were always around our kids. We did things together all the time. I knew who her friends were. I knew what was going on in her room, or so I thought I knew what was going on in her room. We were close. Why would she not tell me everything? They don't. They don't tell you everything. It just happens. If it was more normal, whatever normal is, maybe I would have understood it better. I would have made better choices about how to tell people or who to tell. If I had to do it all over again, I'd get everyone in a room and I would let them know what was going on. I would answer questions. I would ask my own questions. I would set up rules of engagement. How are we all going to work together to help my daughter out? And how are we going to make sure that your children are having positive influences on mine and vice versa? How are we going to do that together? If I knew someone's child was cutting, I think what I would do is call them every week and I'd ask them questions. Is your child cutting? How are you doing this week? What can I do for you? Do you need a hug? Is there something I can get you? I'd let them know it's going to be okay and they're not alone. To weather this storm, you really need a village around you. It's a doozy. The storm can be pretty bad. And to do it on your own, I think it's almost impossible. I think that's really the most important next step, is to build that village around you and to build that village around your child, and to do it with people that you can trust. People who aren't going to judge, people who are going to love you where you're at, just like you're loving your child where they're at.